Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Oxygen Not Included. The new critter update has launched today. It is Mark 1, so they've announced that they're actually going to deepen the whole critter cycle and everything in the next update that'll be out in 6 weeks from now. But a couple of things that have launched here, and we've seen it in different videos and different, news things, is that obviously we have the new critter cycle for growing critters and hatching more and more of those, and we can also make them into like a little food farm, or we can, you can get the eggs or whatever. So there's something there that could be used here in my triple printer challenge right here, obviously because I need food. Another thing that has been introduced into the game, which is going to be the main focus of this video today, that is the priorities. So inside of here, there's a whole new priority system, and this one, I believe, makes a lot of sense. But we're going to see if it can deal with 64 duplicants, when that'll probably be even more by the end of the video here. So I'm not going to try to make it many cycles here. What I want to do is take a look at the reports. So currently, cycle 67 is today, and what I want to take a look at is the time breakdown of what everybody is doing, because there's some different advantages, and if we prioritize things correctly, what we should see is that travel time should be down, and then this essentially should be mostly just working, right? Also, this daily report thing has really come together in the last couple of updates. So you can see here, one of the things that we're looking at is we're losing a lot of calories per cycle right there. You can see that's negative 19,000, 32,000, 9,000. So I got to work on that as well. But again, mostly what I'm going to be focusing on is the priority system. And what I want to see is travel time be less. And then when we look at the breakdown of actual what everybody's doing, mostly it's going to be, things like recover breath should go down. Things like build or deliver and all these other different tasks that people have down there, that should all go up. Wow, click that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Obviously, there's also new geysers in the game, but since this is a map that was made actually a couple updates ago, then we're not going to see any of those in this current video here. So that's not what I'm going to work on. Okay, so how does the priority system work now? Well, we still have the job system just like we had in the last update here. So there's certain things that people want to do. There's also auto prioritize. I'll get into this right here. Duplicants prioritize can only be managed manually right now, or if I click this, it'll automatically prioritize anything that is their job to the highest priority. So everything that these duplicants do goes right through the main priority tab here first before going to a sub priority. So if I click on options here and I hover over advanced mode, we'll get a very informative tooltip right here. So normal mode, which is unchecked right here, duplicants will first pick an errand based on their priorities and then by the sub priority. So right down here, this is, basically low, or shall we say not at all, right? So that would be not running at all. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 through 5. And then if more than one available errand has the same priority, then they will pick based on a hidden priority, which helps new bases run more smoothly. So it does a little bit of guesswork to say, hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. It says this mode is ideal for new players for smaller bases. This is not a small base. We have 64 dupes. So advanced mode here is if this was checked. Dupes will still pick an errand based on their priorities first and then based on the sub priorities, which is, as we've seen, the 1 through 9 thing right down here, right? Except for, in this case, the hidden priority gets disabled. So in case of a tie, a duplicant will pick the closest errand. This helps them stay near the same area of the colony so long as all the work there is their highest priority. So what I'm hoping to see with the advanced mode clicked here and having such a large base is that once a duplicant finds its way over here, inside of this exosuit dock, and they've got a task which is dig, which is their job, which is why they would be doing it over anybody else, that they will more or less sit in this area and dig and dig and dig and more or less, and pick the closest thing to them. So that's what I'm hoping to see here, which should result in the priority system working quite a bit better. Or sorry, we should see this in the reports where travel time is less and then the time breakdown is going to be higher. So that same thing goes for like farm hands, although they have a couple of jobs because you can't necessarily always harvest things. I mean, you can harvest when the plant is ready, but if it's not ready, then you can't harvest it. However, in this situation here, I think my farmers would be better off either delivering fertilizer or something like that to their plants so that their full focus is just working with these plants. You know, and builders, they build and deliver, people deliver stuff. So I'm going to start digging through this one here. Let's see what we got. First off, I have all my jobs. So the first thing I'm going to do is click auto prioritize, because you saw over here on jobs, whoops, the first thing I want to have is I want this to be, you know, I want to see gears for anybody who's a scientist under research. So right now I don't see that. Everything here is just like the little dash. So now that I've hit the auto prioritize and I hit reset priorities, we should see that I get a little wrench. So there we go. So now the scientist here has all sorts of priorities set up, and we'll see what happens here. Okay, so right off the bat, we can see the important stuff, such as combat to save your life, life support, which is going to be terrariums, deodorizers, water sieves, things like that to support the colony. Those are all set currently to the highest priority. Now, I don't think I want to do that because I have so many duplicants, and I have many of those duplicants that are very, very good at delivering stuff. So I am going to go back over to the jobs tab real quick, and I'm going to click auto prioritize. I don't want anything, you know, finding its way over here. Well, actually, I could probably just leave that, considering new duplicants are going to prioritize, right? It's only going to happen when they're new, when they're assigned a new job, right? Yeah, so this won't affect everything I'm going to do here. So, new duplicants, I should be able to change this wholesale. All right, so let's take a look here and see what's going on. Life support, currently everybody's the same. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this with standard. Sort by name, I can't sort by job. Under the jobs tab, do I have the roll-up thing? I do not. So I'm going to disable all combat. I don't want anybody to go and fight anything. I think Ada was the only one capable of actually fighting something, so in the case I needed to take something out, Ada will do it. Which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Life support. So deliver. So the ones that I really want to deal with as far as life support, that's going to be gophers and the courier. Those are going to be the highest priority for those guys. That way, everybody else can kind of do it based on an average level, but those are going to be the people that are going to prioritize that. So gophers and courier will be set to very high. If you had a smaller base, there's a good chance you could actually leave some of these being a little bit higher priority than others, so that, you know, those duplicants get more tasks, which might help them gain more experience. I don't know. That was an idea, but we'll see. So I can't necessarily sort by the jobs, but what I can do is sort by what they're good at, right? So if I click on tidy, I should be able to see like who's really high. Or is it just showing me who has the certain... Yeah, I guess it does. It's useful. So if I sort on tidy, I get groundskeepers and so that way I can easily find all the life support or whatever, you know what I mean? So if I support on supply, that's what I wanted to look at here. Supply, then I can just go right down here and kind of just look at all the gophers and everything. Perfect. All right, so I got everybody. Toggle, I'm just going to leave that high for everybody. Let's see here. Who's really good at care? I should have some doctors around. Well, I'm not going to have cooks deal with care, mostly because, you know, they're usually sick. And these people have to cook food, which is one of the most important things. So in that case, they're going to go back down. All right, tidy. Who's going to sweep, mop, and disinfect objects? Well, we have groundskeepers. That's their job. I clicked that, and it automatically put all of them back to their job. So there we go. You can bring it back. I clicked this or this button right here and I said, you know, standard for everybody and went to standard. But if you just keep clicking up and it's an available job for them, you can get back to the little wrench icon. So I should see that tidy right there. Boom. Obviously, I want my chefs to cook. And pretty much that's about all I want them to do. I suppose anybody else can cook, but it's just going to be a standard priority for them. So I shouldn't see anybody else jump on it. Yeah. And I could leave the sub priority just normal because the cooks are just going to constantly cook. So that's one thing I should change or make sure I change, or maybe it already has changed. Because right now, anybody that is looking for a task that's, you know, 5, maybe they're either gonna deliver to this, or they're going to harvest, or they're going to cook, because they don't have any other, you know, job queued up that's of high priority in their main priority. Well, then they would go and cook. And I don't want them to be standing on the station. So for starters, since I'm rethinking all of my strategies here and everything, I'm just going to reset everything to 5. So you can see right down here in this little tooltip for the sub priorities button, duplicants will pick errands according to their priorities first, and then based on sub priority, which I think I've already explained about 10 times now. But so what I don't want somebody to do is take away a job from somebody who's actually good at doing it. So that should take care of cooking, but we'll see how this all works, right? Art. Now here's a situation where you don't want anybody to go ahead and do art if we have an artist around. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and set new duplicants right now to very low. And for the sake of it, I'm going to set everybody to very low, except for keep the artists on, you know, high. However, since I don't necessarily always have stuff for them to do, I'm gonna go ahead and prioritize the rest of them based on what they're actually good at here. So they're also pretty good at tidying. So when they're not making a mess as they're painting walls, they're gonna tidy up the area. So pretty much that's all about decor, really, when you stop to think about it. Research. I have 2 mad scientists in my base. So again, I'm going to set the global to very low, and then I'm going to bring this stuff up. Now, I'm not sure, this isn't really a tutorial. We're just gonna see how this works with 60 some, you know, duplicants here. Now we've got operate. So you can see here affects the generation of power, tinker, deliver, use fan, depressurize well, and then fabrication. So that's a good one to leave right in the middle with everything else, because if I need something built and built quickly, I could just crank it up in the sub priority, and that'll send a bunch of other duplicants here, or potentially a bunch of more of my duplicants over there to do the work. A secondary way to think about this, as far as, since the other one is fabricate, right? So they're gonna build. No, that's build. Construct new buildings. Fabricate must be like making exosuits and stuff. So building is the one where I'm going to have a little different strategy. Here we go. Farm. Again, same sort of idea here. The farmers are going to do most of the work. Leave everybody else normal. Ranch. I don't have any ranchers yet, but I think I'll get some new duplicants here in this cycle, so we'll go ahead and give them, you know, a ranching job when I get there. Building. Okay, so I've got architects here and apprentice architects. They're going to be my builders. And everybody else has a low priority? No, I want all of that to be a standard priority. Okay, so they can build. The other thing that I want my duplicants to do is, if they're like a gopher or a courier, a good chance is they're going to be delivering something. So I want them to also be able to build as well. So they end one task, maybe their next task is to pick up a tool and actually build the wall. So I'm going to sort by supply, and then I'm going to add their build task. It's going to be 1 up from standard. Hopefully this will lead to some really efficient building, and I won't have to like bring other people in. Okay, so looking back at build, these guys, their job is to go around and build stuff. So I would say for them, supply would be an above normal priority. So maybe they pick something up on the way. I don't know if that'll work or not, but I like the idea of these 2 jobs being connected. I would also say digging for them is a higher priority, more or less because they're going to be in that same area. They're going to dig, they're going to deliver, they're going to build. All right, so here's where I'm going to actually start using the other half of the strategy here for my architects. I'm going to lower the priority on the rest of this equipment here so that I can leave digging at standard. So they have a very focused amount of tasks there. We'll do the same for the people that do a lot of the supply work. So they're going to have an elevated, no, digging will be this. All right, so for my gophers and the couriers, the digging is going to be standard, building is 1 up, and supply is their job. So everything else is going to go down except for life support. That's also really important, so they're not going to mess with that either. Tidy might be one that I keep up high because they're so good at doing it, but I don't know. I got duplicants that should just tidy the place up, right? My artists don't have anything else to do. That's their job. Fill non-critical storage buildings with resources. Well, wouldn't that be a good thing for my groundskeeper? So I'm going to sort by tidy, and I'm going to give them an elevated storage. All right, there we go. That is that is all the priorities done. It took a while to go through all of those duplicants, but let's see how this works, and we'll see how the reports over the next couple cycles here, weigh out. And we can compare that to the last, couple cycles before it. All right, so let's take a look at Meep, right? So what is Meep's job? His job is a groundskeeper. So if we follow jolly old Meep down here, his current task is going to disinfect. So he is going to clean that slime, and he's going to do it with a smile. Aren't you? Yes, you are. So now he's delivering, and he delivered nearby to this little storage compactor. Remember, they have an elevated job, which is to pick stuff up and put it inside of storage compactors. So now let's see what happens if I make a couple storage compactors right here. If people will go and fill that up or not. Actually, if you just take a look at Meep, what he's doing is he's just finding the closest thing nearby, and he's pumping this storage compactor full of stuff that can go in there. Where'd he go? Where'd you go, Meep? Well, neat. I like that. I think I just saw exactly what I was looking for here. So what is Ren doing? Ren just built this farm tile. Everything here is awaiting delivery, right? So nobody's delivered to any of this. So, nope. What are you doing, buddy? Where are you going, Ren? Ren is on his way to go build, because that is his job. And he's going back over here to these storage compactors, which is nearby. And now somebody has delivered, right? So construction is assigned to Ren. Awesome. So people are really actually staying nearby. I think we're going to see a nice positive result here. So one of the other things I want to do here is cancel these. I'm not going to do that. We're going to deconstruct all of that, actually. I have a different plan. And that plan is coming straight from Twitter here. So this is actually from Renan Torres. He's actually talked about this many times on my channel, and I have not investigated it yet. However, I'm going to set something up here, and I'm going to give it a try. And it's a little bit different idea than using these kind of ice sculptures, but it's the same sort of idea. So what it will be is going to have a storage container, and it'll be right up here, and that's going to be packed full of a lot of ice, which we can get from nearby ice biome, right over here or here or up there, and we can pack that full. And then the trick is that it's going to have a little bit of liquid below that, which then transfers the thermal energy down through the liquid and through the conductive tiles down there below into the atmosphere around it. So it'd be a good idea to actually transfer it into hydrogen, maybe, and then cool the water that way. That's what he's actually using in this example right here, is to cool water. I already have a strategy for cooling water, which is probably just going to be gravity from down here into this area, which is a very simple system. But we're going to see if we can drop the temperature in this area over here, right in this area, because you can see how hot it is over here. It's 43 degrees Celsius, and it's not going to get any better, bringing in the really hot water, which not all the pipes are insulated, so there's got to be some more work done there too. You get the idea. Lots of stuff to do. Okay, so one of the other things I need to do down here is I gotta pump out this natural gas. This natural gas is suffocating about a quarter of my farm, if not more, which obviously is having a major impact on the amount of food I can get out of it. And it's all because people keep farting So, I gotta stop farting. So, I am going to set up that gas pump here again. I'm just gonna pump this gas into some place where it's going to go away. That's the hopes. Alright, so this is pretty cool. I saw this happen just a moment ago. There was a little bit of clay here. Bilu decided to pick that up, finish off the deliver to this piece right there, and then start constructing it. Well, now you're gonna go to the bathroom and you're gonna mess up my whole example, aren't you? Yeah, go figure. But I think what I'm seeing here is a much more efficient approach to a lot of what these duplicates are going through. Or a lot of duplicant tasks, I should say. Okay, you know what I can do right down here, since I already have some stuff there, is I can make this. Nope. I just put a storage compactor right there. And then take the ice that is right here and fill it right there, which cools down this liquid. Maybe it makes this a little effective. Johnny, what are you doing? That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. I'm gonna go ahead and say that is 6, a little bit more. So hopefully somebody comes over here and digs that up pretty quick. Hey, look at that. Rather than getting entombed, you got kicked out. Hey, that's nice to see. I like it. What I'm seeing here is that there's a good amount of improvement on just how the duplicants move around the base and do what hopefully you want them to do. Okay, I've got too much oxygen here, not enough oxygen there. We need better airflow tiles, just to kind of help the pressure get out of here and move over there. Also, this here, I just noticed this now, isn't even closed off, so we'll make that a 6. So people who are building I should still see builders come over here and do this, not anybody else. Okay, so a scientist there did a little bit of delivering. Aha! Yes! And my architect is doing the building on that piece. Came from right there. Nice and optimized. I like it. Turner, who doesn't have anything else to do because he's a scientist right now and I have nothing queued, is also doing some construction. Alright, cool. I should really do some research. Research ranching, because that's going to be important. Okay, so I need kind of a base-wide option for getting rid of natural gas. So I'm going to go ahead and make a gas line here. For anybody who's got the farts, you can now fart freely, and we'll turn it into power rather than suffocate and die. So we have to run that through a gas filter. I feel like I've almost spent an hour on like one cycle. I feel like I've spent an hour on one single cycle at this point. Or maybe not, I don't know. Have we made it past one cycle? I don't think we have. This is a very strategic cycle that I got going on here. Look at this, the print has even progressed. You know, it was like down here, now it's up there. How about that? So yes, I do have the 3D printer up and running. It's running through its paces, and I'm figuring out the things that are not, you know, working out that well. It's still very much a prototype, like the fan shroud here is, you know, a crappy prototype, but I don't know. It's coming together, starting to see bigger parts. Now I just gotta fill this whole plate. This one doesn't have the best surface finish. That's because I uploaded a kind of a crappy file. So the vision, the triangles that make up the actual outside were not as refined. I had it like too high at one point and I couldn't make good G-code, and then I had it bad, and that's what you're seeing there. So one of the things I just did here is I just queued this gas pipe up, and it was only at a priority or sub priority, I guess now. I gotta start calling it the right thing, of 5. But since it was close by, it looks like everybody jumped on it. And look at how fast that was built. We should see how quickly we progress through this. And that, I really like to see that. So who's doing the delivering here? But my gophers. So that guy knew that there was stuff nearby. So he's going to go pick it up, and he's going to bring it right back to it. So the chefs, they're down here dealing with the chefy stuff. And the farmers are still down here. And then our art student. So there's no builders or anything down in this area because they're all off doing what they should be doing. And that's really nice to see. Harold, bro, how'd you end up there? Now, this was how the duplicant died in the last episode here, because I had to disable priorities in order to have control, or more or less. So some people could not dig. But in this case, Harold can still dig as long as I give him the chance to, and now he can get out of there and actually survive. So who else is suffocating? You can also see that this is opened up. So now, instead of coming over here to breathe, they've progressed this much further. I think one of the great plans I could have is making one of these electrolyzing systems and just do it inside the cold biome, you know? Just take care of it. That thing doesn't turn off, you know, based on the pressure, so I don't have anything to worry about. What I do need is a way to get up here. Come on. Oh, okay. So here we go. The germs are, in this case, transferring through the tiles, so I do need to have an air gap. Otherwise, slime lung will make its way in. Well, I'm not going to deal with it this cycle, but next cycle I'm going to go through here and I'm going to, you know, create a little bit of a gap between the slime and that. Oh, that's why they're up here, because of all these build tasks. Got it. Okay. I'm not going to do that here. I mean, it's a good idea, but I'm not going to do it right there. I'm going to do my growing in a different farm. I'm going to use this one for its coldness, and we'll grow up here. So I guess one thing I do see with this new job system here is that distance, you know, a task that's farther away isn't going to be done before a task that's closer by. At least that's what it seems like. Because this pipe, I mean, look at that. That got built in no time. And we also saw the farm tiles, for the most part, were built, you know, closest to the center where everybody is, outward, which is what you would expect. I mean, it's got to follow some sort of logic, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the report here. Travel time was 19,000 seconds, and then the time breakdown was 73,000. Still recovering the breath is like super high, but well, the time breakdown is significantly different from one cycle to the next, but what I did see is that travel time is less slightly. And if we take a look, the last time we had travel time this low was cycle 61, and that was 19,000. So here you see 20,000, 20,000, 21,000, 21,000. Again, we're getting more and more dupes as we increase the cycles here. But yesterday was under 20,000, so still about the same travel time. Food's definitely going to we're gonna have a problem here pretty soon. So that means this gas filter needs to get done. So both Bubbles and Angelo got a new job. Let's see how that messed up their priority here. An auto thingamabobber is clicked. Angelo. He's currently a farmer. I guess he hasn't gotten it just yet. So they went from farmhand to farmer, but it doesn't look like many things changed there. Or really anything, I should say. Oh, wait. Hang on. Angelo just changed. Okay, so Angelo just grabbed his, just was promoted from farmhand to farmer. And even though this is set to auto-prioritize, it didn't change all the priorities I set for him manually. So that's cool. Probably only worries about his actual job, you know what I mean? So to help with the food here, we're gonna go ahead and make Frostbun continuous. Criminy, look at how fast Frankie is. This is like the fastest dupe ever. Let's take a look at his skills, huh? Athletics, 16, no wonder. Okay, so here's some weird stuff that is not being constructed. Even though it's at 6, they should be making this gas filter. I have plenty of gold amalgam. So taking a look at I should have a miner here. He's doing some mining stuff. They're more or less sticking around the same area. General engineer is also doing some building because he's close by. That all looks like it's working well. Nope, there they go. Now they made the gas pipe. Awesome. So we'll click natural gas there and that'll be taken care of. I've also given this an out just so I can increase the pressure inside of here because this is actually a sealed room, which is what I want to do, really, when you get down to it. Even if it is carbon dioxide or whatever. Now, here's what I gotta do. Oh no, more duplicants! Harold, welcome to the base. Liam and Jen as well. Awesome. Consumable tabs is still very laggy. However, the priorities tab. Okay, good. All right, Harold, you're gonna become Malt. Thank you for your support. Sorry if I murdered your name. I think I probably did. You're gonna become Raylan Gar. Thank you for your support as well. Let's move on to Liam. Your name is going to be, well, someone else, which is actually a name. There we go. Copy. Paste it. No! Go away! Uh-oh. welcome to the base and thank you for your support. So currently they don't have any jobs. So if I give them a job, well, we got one that wants to be a gopher. Someone else can always use more architects. And Raylan here, I feel like I got enough gophers at this point. Now finding them in the priorities tab, oh gosh. This is kind of where I wish I could sort by the actual job that they have. Although I guess I can, right? So if I click on build, then I'll know who the new one is. He's currently unemployed, but he has a gear there. So I could do that. He hasn't picked up his new job. He hasn't started yet. Harold, whom I thought you... There we go. More dupes. I'm going to move this hydrogen generator over here and get rid of this stuff. And then I'll have the cooling apparatus right there. So we should see that there should be some nice cold, almost like having a cold biome right here in the middle of my base. So much work going into disinfecting. It's not a good one. So deconstruct anything that is touching slime. We gotta make an air gap. Too much of my natural gas is flowing this direction. Oh man. Alright, so I need to have a valve here. And then I don't want this one to go the other direction. So I'm going to deconstruct this, gas pipe. So only the middle one can kind of has a choice. The bottom one here is just going to feed constant power. Thimble reeds seem to be doing well. 89% already. I'm working my way up here so I can just have a straight shot. Get up there and do what I need to do. Although, interesting. Yeah, okay. Doesn't just transfer out, but it transfers through the walls? Okay. What if it's an airflow tile? Things I must know. Alright, so Lindsay, you can move on. Alright, so if I put ice down here, I do have some that's available. 400 kilograms, I guess I got quite a bit. So I'll put 600 in here. And we'll see the first time, we're just putting a little bit of ice inside of some liquid. See if that makes a difference. You can see the temperature in here is actually, well, it's come down. I built some thermal shift plates between this liquid and these algae deoxidizers. Let's see how that works. We still have some natural gas around. Let's take a look at this temperature though. So this should see its temperature go down now that I've moved this ice down there. Alright, so that was another cycle here complete. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reports. Travel time, still 20,000. So I haven't seen a big change in the travel time, but I feel like things are a little bit more organized. The time breakdown is reporting some very different numbers, so there must be just more variables accounted for, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Alright, so once again here, I am out of time to record a video here, but I would say the new priority system here, I like it, personally. I think this works a lot better than their previous system and better than any system that they've had in this game before. I like the sub-priority, I like the priorities system, I like the jobs. I think it's all come together and it's working well. I haven't necessarily, well, I guess I've seen an improvement more visually based on what things are getting done and who's doing them. So it seems like duplicants are more effective. Now I still have the same amount of travel time, so I haven't really seen it so much in the reports on an apples to apples comparison right there, which doesn't seem like it's, exactly apples to apples anyhow because they're accounting for some different stuff. But I think it's been a major improvement to the game. So I'm glad that it's here and I'm glad that it's working well. As far as this base is concerned, food is going to become my next major problem. So I need to really start growing a lot of bristle blossoms, so I gotta cool down a lot of water. So I think there's a room for more experimenting with things like this and some other ideas such as that I'll need to do some experimenting and then implement them to this base here next week or so. So we'll look at that here in the future. We've made it. We've survived yet another update here in the Triple Printer Challenge. Hopefully you guys have found this video somewhat informative or enjoyable. I'll see you again next time. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out. Oh, and if I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that.